Question number 33. You are being asked to identify the intervals where the function is changing as requested. So we're going to answer all of these questions. So out of this graph, the first one is identify the domain. Remember that the domain are the values of x. So you will be looking at the graph from left to right. So I modify the graph and it's only going to be the pink that you see on the paper. My favorite color, by the way. So the graph, as I move from left to right, I notice that the graph comes from what is implied to be negative infinity values of x. So that is the lowest, and then the highest value of x that is achieved is 2. So my domain, I'll write it here, my domain will be from negative infinity to 2 bracket. Again, I modify the graph. Then the range are the values of y. The lowest y is here, negative 3, and the highest y is positive 3. So it's bracket, negative 3, positive 3. Then it's asking for x-intercepts. And we prefer that you answer that as order pair, as points. So we want to know the x and the y of that. If it is an x-intercept, the y is always equal to 0. So all you have to do is find the x. So the graph is crossing the y-axis here, or the x-axis here. So x is 0 there. Then it's asking for the y-intercept and intercept or intercepts. So there is only one. The graph is not crossing the y-axis at any other point, but the same as the x-intercept. So it is another 0, 0. Then we are asked to find where the graph is increasing. Increasing, decreasing, and constant is always based on the x-axis. So I see that the graph is increasing here. So I'm going to identify the x here. X here is negative 2. So the graph is increasing from negative 2 up to this value of x, that is 2. From negative 2 to 2, the graph is increasing. Then we are asked to find where the graph is decreasing. So the graph is decreasing from the x value here to this x value here. X here is negative 3. Always use parentheses. Negative 3 to negative 2. So is all of them based on the x-axis, use parentheses from left to right. Then constant. So the graph is constant from negative infinity because those are the values of x that are here, from negative infinity up to this value. So it is constant from negative infinity to negative 3. So just to summarize, increasing, decreasing, and constant is based on the x-axis only, based on x only. You are to identify from left to right, and you are to use parentheses. It doesn't matter if it is open or closed. You always use parentheses when you are identifying increasing, decreasing, and constant. Then the next ones are the number at which f has a relative minimum. It's really asking for identify the minimum and tell me what is the x value there. So the lowest value is here. This is the minimum. So you will look at this and say, oh, what is the x here? You look up, oh, x is negative 2. So the answer here is negative 2. Then the other one, the relative minimum. In English, like I say, that's the y value of the lowest point. So what is the y here? Oh, I look to the right and it's negative 3. That's all you are to do. Look at the lowest value. What is the x? What is the y? On the test, I will write those in there. The next question, f of negative 3. So they're giving you x equals -3. And the question is, oh, okay, so go to the table, go to the graph, find x equals -3 right here, then point to the graph, find a point that is on the graph, and tell me the y that goes with that -3. So -3 goes with the y that is equal to -1. So they're asking you for what is the y value when x equals -3. The next one, the value of x for which f of x equals 3. So here is really giving you y equals 3. That's what is given. And you are really being asked to find the x. So now you go to the y3, y equals 3. What is x? You go to the graph. The x is 2. So the answer is x equals 2. This graph, it doesn't seem to have any symmetry. If I fold it over the x-axis, we're not going to have symmetry. If I fold it over the y-axis, no symmetry. So it's going to be neither or neither. That's it. What is question 39?